5,000 years ago, an urban society spanned more than 1 million square kilometers across what is now Pakistan, northwest India, and eastern Afghanistan. The Indus Valley Civilization dwarfed its famous contemporaries in Egypt and Mesopotamia. They built cities with striking precision. Their settlements featured strict grid layouts, complex covered drainage systems, and multi-story brick homes long before modern plumbing existed. Executing this kind of civic engineering required immense coordination. The builders used standardized kiln-fired bricks with exact mathematical proportions across hundreds of miles of territory. Yet, despite being the largest urban culture of the ancient world, they vanished entirely from human memory. While the pharaohs were studied for centuries, the Harappans were completely forgotten until archaeologists stumbled upon their ruins in the 1920s. This absolute historical blank spot comes down to one glaring problem. We cannot read a single word they wrote. Without their own records, their voices have been locked away in the dirt. The Indus script remains completely undeciphered. What little writing we have is mostly found carved into small personal seals, offering no grammar or long-form context to help us break the code. Linguists cracked Egyptian hieroglyphs because they found the Rosetta Stone, which featured the same text in both Egyptian and Greek. No equivalent side-by-side translation exists for the Indus Valley. Archaeologists suspect the Harappans actually did write lengthy historical records, but they likely used fragile materials like palm leaves. Over 4 millennia in a harsh climate, those archives would simply rot away. For almost a century after their discovery, historians were forced to guess what brought this massive society down. Theories ranged from invading armies to sudden tectonic shifts, but the hard proof was missing. If their written history is completely gone, how can modern science determine what actually killed off an ancient superpower? Between 2003 and 2008, a team of international scientists from places like the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution realized that if the texts were silent, they had to ask the landscape itself. To do this, they bypassed ground-level digging entirely. They used space-based radar topography collected by the space shuttle to digitally reconstruct 10,000 years of physical changes to the Earth. This map reveals an immense topographical feature, an elevated mound 10 to 20 meters high and over 100 kilometers wide. This mega-ridge was built entirely by the ancient Indus River, purging its own heavy sediment along its course. Looking at the surrounding radar data, researchers could also trace the exact paths of dead riverbeds branching out from the main system, pushing deep into what is now completely barren desert. This orbital scan provided a blueprint of prehistoric change, pointing scientists to the physical evidence of the civilization's collapse. Guided by the satellite data, researchers went to work on the ground. They extracted deep sediment cores from ancient lake beds and measured stalagmites inside caves. This chart maps the environmental data locked inside those physical layers. It tracks regional rainfall, showing a steady downward trend in monsoon strength from 5,000 to 3,000 years ago. This drying climate created a paradox. Initially, weaker rains tamed the wild, destructive floods flowing out of the Himalayas. This created a Goldilocks window, a gentle, predictable flow of water and rich silt that was absolutely perfect for sustaining large-scale agriculture. But the aridification didn't stop. Eventually, the drying crossed a fatal threshold. The region was hit by severe megadroughts, some lasting over 85 years, which slowly choked out the seasonal rivers feeding the major cities. The exact same climate mechanism that birthed their golden age of agriculture ultimately became the slow, unstoppable engine that destroyed it. Generations of slow resource starvation pushed the Harappans to the brink, making older theories of sudden war or rapid apocalypse obsolete. As the rivers dried up around 3,900 years ago, the population abandoned their massive urban centers, migrating east toward the Ganges Basin where the monsoon rains remained reliable. To survive, these refugees had to abandon the centralized surplus farming that built their empire. They downgraded to smaller, localized communities, supported strictly by rain-fed agriculture. This survival tactic came with a heavy cultural cost. Without massive agricultural surpluses, there was no concentrated workforce to support specialized trades. Complex urban arts, including their routing system, literally faded from human memory. The physical history of the landscape shows that human survival is tethered to the stability of the climate. We cannot separate human history from the dirt beneath our feet. Today, the modern Indus system feeds the largest irrigation network in the world, built on the assumption of a tamed river. If global warming alters the monsoons and brings catastrophic floods back to the region, our modern cities could face the exact same obsolescence.